Obviously, massive game this Thursday. Come on the heels of blowing a 10-point lead to the Steelers. Disappointing loss, but a little bit encouraging because it clearly wasn't their best game. They're catching the Eagles at a tough time. They're on a roll. So this will be difficult, but I do think we don't have to panic either way. The schedule is, I think, somewhat favorable. One of the aspects of this game that we've talked about is the Jahan Dotson factor, and some interesting comments from him, actually. He's had a very limited impact. I think he's got like 8 catches for maybe 120 yards, something like that, on the season for Philadelphia.
It's less than that. I don't even think he's hit 100.
But they asked him about, the deal when he was traded. He does admit that he was kind of shocked that, you get special ties to the team that drafts you. But after a few days, he said he was over it and he was ready to move on. But when they asked him about the team in general, he says he still has a ton of respect for them. He says, quote, "You have a great coached team, a great leader of men," he said of Dan Quinn. "If you can implement the right kind of mindset, the right kind of culture, you can do a lot of great things, and that's kudos to Coach Quinn. He's doing a fantastic job. He knows how to grab the room. He makes it very easy for people to listen to him and do what he asks. And they have some fantastic players over there. They're putting players in some good positions to make plays." He also was asked about Jaden and about whether or not they knew if he was going to start the season. He says, they knew. 100% they knew. He says, "I knew he was special in college. I got to train with him a couple of times before he even got drafted. I knew he was a great player, and now it's time for the world to see."
There's a chance he might play a more prominent role. If you look at Devontae Smith, now I think he'll play, but they list him as having a hamstring injury. He was limited in practice on Monday. Not sure if he practiced yesterday, but
I think he was limited in practice yesterday.
Dotson could play a more prominent role against his former team on Thursday.
Nick Sirianni said Dotson's targets could start to increase because he has had a couple recent big plays, right? There was one catch that people were talking about from a couple weeks ago. He said Jahan is used to in college, even at Washington, 5, 6, 7 targets a game. Maybe you're only going to get 1, 2, or 3 here. What are you going to do with those opportunities? But he says, I think guys that take advantage of their opportunities are the ones that get rewarded with more opportunities.
He's De'Ami Brown on the Eagles. He's kind of like De'Ami Brown here. Like De'Ami Brown doesn't get a lot of opportunities. Like when you get the ball thrown to you in the end zone and you're uncovered, you better make that catch.
Yeah.
Like that's the sort of role that Jahan Dotson has inherited in Philly. Because when Smith and A.J. Brown are healthy, there aren't going to be targets for him.
Goddard.
Yeah, and Goddard at tight end.
And they'll throw to Barkley.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's a lot of mouths to feed there in Philly. So he's kind of getting left out. But if a guy gets injured or a guy's reduced because of a hamstring injury, whatever, he could play a bigger role.
We should give people a heads up that Thursday Night Football, of course, is on Amazon now. And the NFL Films crew was in studio with us on Monday. Will probably be featured on their pregame show for 5 to 10 seconds.
Yeah,
so featured's a strong word.
But keep your eye out for their package where they go back and forth from Philadelphia radio to Washington radio and the setup of the rivalry game.
Record it because you'll probably miss the blur.
Yeah, you probably hear Cakes' voice or something.
When the team is in the local markets, is it still only on Amazon?
No, they can get it over the air. They're required to show it over the air.
Oh, they are
in the local markets.
What network is it? Is it a Fox game?
This is from a guy that doesn't have Amazon Prime.
No, I do.
I know.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I got it.
I would think it would be Fox because 2 NFC East teams. I would think.
I didn't know.
But yeah, over the air they have to show. I think that's a league.
My wife watches Amazon every night on her iPad.
Oh. By the way, I didn't realize this until yesterday. Al Michaels, who's calling the game, he just turned 80.
Wow.
Al Michaels, 80 years old, still calling NFL games.
Right.
Good for him.
People say he's lost his fastball.
I was told our package on Thursday Night Football will air right around 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Really?
Yep.
I wonder,
a couple minutes after, he said.
Did he give us any inclination if it's going to be more than 5 seconds?
No, this is when he was here. He told me that.
Are they going to do the typical radio little digital thing, or not even digital? the analog little
Show the
Rubicon?
lights.
what is it called?
Rubicon.
The Rubicon.
I don't think Amazon does that. If I recall when they used this in the past, and I think it actually might be more than 5 seconds. It might be like 2 or 3 clips from our show, 2 or 3 clips from a Philly show.
I'd be shocked if it's 2 or 3. Usually,
We'll find
it's
out.
a lot of cutting
Find
room
out
floor.
tomorrow night.
But they're nice guys, so it's
No,
cool.
they're very nice.
It's cool
Crews,
that they do that.
Super
Yeah,
nice.
the guy that was in here, we found out was an NFL player for 8 years. Then Jason looked him up, and he was a lawyer too.
He went to law school, UCLA.
He's a Renaissance man.
He was drafted in the second round.
What's he doing? Like holding
Play-
the camera for freaking NFL
No,
film?
he's a producer. He wasn't holding the camera.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
He was the both.
played 8 years in the league.
That's crazy. Then the injury report, and it really looks like Marshawn Lattimore's not going to play. All right. Another did not practice. They're just nursing the hamstring. I don't think Seibert's going to be
What
back
about
either.
B-Rob? Let's lay on B-Rob.
B-Rob.
Cakes couldn't have
limited.
been more
Hold
wrong when Cake said
he
his
was
hammy's
faking
going to
the-
suddenly be perfectly fine
Yeah.
when he lands in Washington.
Look,
One of his
you
rare
know what?
misses.
Here's what it is. One of our rare misses. Here's what I was basing that on. I was
Yeah.
basing it on Devontae Adams.
All right.
Devontae Adams had a hamstring injury, but
Right.
then as soon as he was reunited with his BFF Aaron Rodgers, who sucks by the way, he was all of a sudden healthy. He was out of the field.
So yesterday
you
was
guys in particular use the back padding machine a lot.
Sure,
When you're dead wrong on something like that, what should we have?
a nothing burger, nothing. It just goes by the wayside. Everybody has hits and misses.
Of course.
Trust me.
So-
Everybody does.
So yesterday
Should we
was
go back
just,
to using the dunce
yesterday
cap?
was just a walkthrough. So the injury report, like you said yesterday, was just kind of an estimation.
Mm-hmm.
But B-Rob did practice.
but was limited.
But
wasn't
we
a
had
full
him on the
practice.
It was just a
show.
walkthrough.
He's
Yeah.
pretty optimistic. I think somebody else talked to him. He's pretty optimistic. I'm telling you, I think I bet Cake's $2. I think B-Rob's playing.
I'm still standing by not playing. No,
but-
I'm not very good at predicting hamstring injuries. Apparently,
Yeah.
it's not my thing.
It's not your forte.
No,
Cake.
it is not.
Speaking of injuries, the Eagles could get some big help. It looks like their big offensive tackle, Jordan Mailata, could be back. He's practiced this week. I think he'd missed 4 games. Dante Fowler talks about how huge that dude is, how talented he is. So that'll be unfortunately some more reinforcements for an Eagles team that's really kind of hitting all cylinders right now. We're kind of banged up.
Mhm.
So this is going to be a tough challenge.
That's going to help their running game even more.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of those games where Philadelphia could run for well over 150 yards.
Oh yeah,
They could.
I mean,
yeah.
that's
Well,
kind of what
no
the
doubt.
Commanders give up every game. So
Well,
I'm
and-
fully expecting them to be.
Well, they
in the
averaged 176
Yeah,
Well, they're,
on the ground.
I was talking about the FanDuel player prop numbers yesterday, and they've got Barkley at 90.5 rushing yards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty big number.
substantial number.
They're expecting him to do some damage.
I watched that clip of him jumping over backwards and everything
Yeah.
again, and it is just absurd. And they're asking everybody. And they're asking Jaden if he saw it. He says, "Yeah, I think the whole world's seen that."
Yeah, I mean, we asked Brian Robinson yesterday, and
Yeah.
Brian Robinson was amazed that he's never seen anything like it. I mean, the spin move itself was great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he didn't even have the hurdle, it was a great run
but just sort of
because he
instinctive-
spun and had like 4 guys trying to tackle him.
It literally was a video game move. It was like something you would see on Madden.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And then how
how many-
high is he to hurdle that guy? And I understand the guy's bending down to tackle him.
Yeah, it's just crazy. The instincts there are just insane.
I feel like he's probably the only guy in the league that can do that.
You would think. But anyway, it's going to be a tough challenge. Jason pointed out to me that CBS, their site, they've got some interesting things there. First of all, they're ranking the rookie quarterbacks, and I think they're kind of harsh with Jaden. They have Jaden, I think, as the top rated one, but they only give Jaden a B on the season. They give him a C- for last week, and I thought it wasn't his best game, but I think C- is a little harsh. But a B on the season?
Yeah.
He only gets a B? They give Bo Nix a C on the season. They give Caleb a C+. They give Drake May a B- on the season.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Some harsh graders.
then they have some other like second year guys. I don't even care about them.
So you would have thought,
I would have thought Jaden would
B
get it
plus
B+,
at
A-
the lower.
on the season.
yeah.
And I would have thought last week. I mean, if you want to give him, I would probably give him maybe a B, B-. I mean, I think he was great.
There was somebody trolling us on Twitter yesterday at Junks Radio. who said, "Do you know who the leader in touchdowns is, and the leader in completions, and the leader in all these categories?" And it is Bo Nix.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think yards might be another one.
We talked about that, yeah.
But it doesn't take into consideration quarterback rating, QBR, completion percentage, efficiency, running yards.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I don't think anybody thinks that Bo Nix is as good as Jaden Daniels.
Jaden's raw passing numbers aren't that great because they do run the football. He runs the football, but it's the efficiency.
They have their power rankings out, and the loss seems to have damaged the Commanders in some eyes. So at CBS, they went from 6th to 10th, Cakes, in their power rankings.
Not too bad of a drop.
Not a huge drop, but it was a 1-point loss to a 7-2 team.
Yeah.
The Chiefs, even though they've been kind of, I feel like, very fortunate to be where they are, they're number 1. The Lions, number 2. Bills 3, Ravens, Valdez's Ravens 4. They're up a tick. The Steelers are up a tick to 5. Eagles 6, Vikings, Packers, Chargers, then the Commanders. That's your top 10 power rankings in the NFL. Likewise, if you look at Super Bowl odds, if you want to throw some cash right now, you'd get plus 400 on the Chiefs, plus 450 on the Lions. If you want to throw $100 on the Commanders to win the Super Bowl, you net $2,500.
Ooh, 25-1. That's kind of spicy.
It's not bad, right?
To win or to get there?
I thought it was to win, no?
I think it's to win, yeah.
I think that's to win.
Yeah.
Who'll be hosting the Lombardi Trophy? Yeah, to win.
Yeah. Last week they were 22-1.
Yeah, they went down a little bit.
Tiny bit.
25. I don't know.
I see here updated numbers on FanDuel 30-1.
Wow. So you go to FanDuel, you put $100, you win $3,000.
It's 30 to yeah.
Drabby, why don't you put $50 on my boys? You don't feel confident. They don't have the guy.
I light enough money on fire.
He needs to keep the powder dry.
If you had to throw a long shot bet right now on any of these teams that are like realistic, that are in the top 10 or so,
Bengals.
You'd get a good number on that, I'm sure.
Yeah. Just because I think they're the most talented, even, and the wild card situation in the AFC is a lot of those teams can get back in it.
Mm-hmm.
Steelers
Plus
are kind of
the Raiders this week.
Steelers are kind of
I think it's the Raiders.
Long shot too.
No, it's not the Raiders. It's the Chargers.
Yeah, Steelers are 35-1.
I still think you're getting pretty good value if you bet on the Ravens. But why
are they even offering teams like the Giants?
I don't know.
To get free money.
I mean, they're actually
because there are dummies out there that'll still bet the Giants. That'll grab.
Because you get $100. You put $100, you get $100,000.
Yeah, I mean, but it's impossible to win.
Getting $100.
Hey, Drabby, that's the best sweat. Come on, man.
It's literally impossible to win that.
The Raiders. You should get $2 million. You should get $100 million.
You should get $1 trillion to 1 on the Raiders. I'm sure the Raiders are going to win with Gardner Minshew or Aiden
Is there
O'Connell.
any chance anybody on FanDuel bets that the Carolina Panthers or the Patriots or the Giants will win?
There might be some locals.
Very few.
There are probably some local guys.
Right. They just throw in 15, 20 bucks.
Never forget the Redskins were 3-7 in evaluation mode, and they went to the playoffs.
True, but they didn't get to the Super Bowl.
I know, but if they were in the wild card and you start Bud Sice and you got $100,000 on the, you start hedging. Take that cash out.
Right. I think they might have been 3-6, but neither here nor there.
It was close to that.
Yeah.
Still salty. My AFC wild card picks this year for our playoff predictions are the Bengals, the Bills, and the Dolphins. 1 out of 3, I guess, not too bad.
Well, you still got a
but
shot.
Those other two,
Bengals,
dicey.
still got a shot.
Some people believe the Dolphins can make a run.
I think yesterday I saw they have a 25% chance of making the playoffs, something around there.
Anyway,
don't love their odds.
It's a big one, and we're how many hours away? I'm bad at this. About 36 hours away, something like that, in that range.
Well, they play at 8:15 tomorrow night.
So we're about 12 hours from
12.
now. 24, 36, 37 hours away. Big turnaround for both teams.